Say your name.
Darken Kamali.
How long have you been doing poetry?
17 years now.
What has influenced you to do poetry?
It first started off as therapy, poetry. When I first went from Fiji to New Zealand, I was more of a musician, playing cover music, and then I wanted to get into more writing. And I met my mentor in 1998, and he got me off the streets and writing poetry.
What's the story behind your poetry? Like to influence people, like what's behind it?
Mainly my poetry is Pacific poetry. It started off as performance poetry, then from the stage back into the page. It's actually to tell our stories from the Pacific and get people more aware about Pacific literature and our position on the map as well, and more talking about the ocean and how our people live and mythologies and legends. Just mainly promoting Pacific literature.
So it's mostly like Pacific literature to help students understand like what's the meaning behind it, or?
Yeah, it's mainly about the Va, which is VA, and we say Va doesn't the ocean doesn't separate us; it actually connects us. So people think that the ocean separates the islands, but the Va is what actually brings us together, and that's the ocean that connects us. And Polynesia, Melanesia, and Micronesia, which is all different, but they're still in the same belt and same area.
And how many books have you wrote 2 books, right?
I've done 2 albums earlier in my career. One in 2000, Bula Aotearoa Immigrant Story, and 2005, Keep It Real. And my first published book of collection was in 2011, and my second one was just this year. Yeah.
Okay. What I was wondering is that when you're doing poetry, like, what's the meaning behind singing it and when you're speaking it? Like
So taking it off the page, I try to use the vocals as my point, my instrument. So mainly chanting, even a bit of rap, a bit of melodies, spoken word. So I try to mix all the voices together and separate the poems by little choruses that brings the voices into play. So if you know what I mean.
So you just like travel around, or?
Yeah, I do a lot of traveling. Creative New Zealand is my main funders. They've been funding me for the last 10 years. So most of my stuff that I do in New Zealand or internationally is funded by Creative New Zealand. And then we have other universities fitting the other half of funding. So like Fulbright will fit half, or any university like University of Iowa. And then Creative New Zealand will see the other portion sorted out as well. And my main my main mission or task is to get Pacific poetry and literature out to the international public, and that's how I get my grants. It's been great being in Iowa City and Northern Iowa. Thanks for having me.